Hey everybody, this is the Crypto Bands Guru, and tonight I want to do a deep dive into Bitcoin and why I am extremely bullish on Bitcoin and why I believe we're going to start moving up towards the end of the year from a technical analysis perspective. So let me remind everybody, this is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and do not take anything I say as investment advice. Do your own homework and come up with your own decisions. But if I can show you some cool things that I see on the charts, I'm more than happy to do so. So let's get started. So last night I was looking at the weekly and the daily and the 4-hour Bitcoin charts, and there are some clear indications of an upward move. And I did see it last night, and I was going to put out a video, but quite frankly, it was just too late. But I was not surprised by today's move up. And so follow along with me, and I'll show you exactly how I came to that conclusion. So here we see on the chart in front of us, this is the weekly chart. And we can see from last week, we had this beautiful green candle. And let me make that a red so we can see it'll pop out better. Right, so that was the candle from last week. And we had this beautiful candle. And then this week, we started a little bearish and we retraced, but you can see where we retraced to. We retraced exactly. We retraced exactly to the 618 fib level. I mean, it does not get any better than that. I know professional traders who only trade inside of the 0.5 to 618 retracement zone. I know technically 0.5 is not a fib retracement, but it's so commonly used by traders that I put it on my fib retracement. And so we came back, tapped the 35.58, which is the 618 fib level, and that has so far held as the low for the week. Of course, we have Saturday and Sunday left, but so far this has been a beautiful trade. We also, as you can see, we have this zone here, so this blue support zone that I had drawn way back in November, right? And so we had touched it here, and this was the low here for the, the closing price for the week. And that's where we open the next week. And so this has been a really good support zone, support and resistance zone. And you can see this week, it's now acting as full support. So that combined with the 618 gave me a sense that price had retraced as much as it was going to after last week's big move up. You do not get this kind of large move up and say that's going to be the end of a move, especially when it's clearly at the bottom of the latest price action. And then let me show you something else, and this is really pretty interesting. So if we now look, we go back to this move that we had back here, and let me pause this for 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So what I want to show you is this. We can see way back in, this out of the way, this high here, which we had back in July of this year, when we had that nice little run up and we hit about 8,500. And you can see this whole move down, right? So if we consider this as a wave, right, price came down, we had this nice little hammer here at the bottom, and then price moved up, right? And then let me clear these off. And then if we use this as wave one of this move down, and we then do a nice little fib extension to see where would that equality of a wave be, right? So this is wave one. We retraced for quite a long time from August through November. And then finally the next move down came exactly, I mean, you can't make this up, boys and girls, right? I mean, we came exactly, we came exactly down to about the 3,000 level. The low here was 31.18. But look at that. So that's a perfect one-to-one, two wave move. And so that gave me confidence that this was going to be the end of the downward move here at about 3,100. And that's exactly how it's played out. And when we go to the 4-hour chart, I will show you the ABC pattern that we're in now. But this could be one down, two up, consolidation, and then the third final move down. And that would be a perfect three-wave move to the downside. And so that's what I take from looking at the weekly chart. And that's why I'm bullish on the weekly perspective. Okay, so this is the weekly view. Now let's look at the daily view. Okay, so we can see in the daily view, so right, we were just looking at the weekly view. And now if we look at the daily view, right, these were the retracements to the 618 level after we began the week pushing up, and then we pushed down, and now we're trading above this nice move of this candle this week. Okay, and then if we go to the 4-hour chart, okay, this is where things get really interesting. Okay, and so if we draw a wave, so let's say this is going to be 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then this was all the 4th wave here, and this last move down to the 618, the last couple days is going to be the end of our 5th wave. And so once we have 5 waves down, we're now looking to resume the larger wave structure, which would be this up here, 1, probably all the way to here. That's the first wave. That would be the second wave. And then by extension, that will get us, and I'll show you another way that I could figure out, or I figured out where possible targets are. Okay, we could be moving all the way up past this support zone to maybe around 5,000, 5,100. Okay. Okay, so back on the daily, I want to point out another reason I was actually, I thought we were going to drop a little bit further last night, and I'll show you why. So this blue line here is the whole moving average, and I'll get into that in a minute, but I love the whole moving average, which was created to smooth out some of the lagging problems that all the other moving averages have. So I have this set to a 50-day or 50-period whole moving average, and I kind of did expect that price was going to drop down a little bit today. Now I saw this here, and it seemed that this 0.764 is another strong fib zone, and it just to me seemed ripe for pricing to drop, hit, and then bounce up higher off the whole moving average, and that's kind of what I was expecting. But as you can see, we had very little retracement today, and then price has shot up. And we actually went from the 618 all the way back to the 0.236 fib, which is another very common zones to bounce back and forth between. And so we'll see what tomorrow brings. I'm not, if we take a look at the 4-hour chart, we are very very bullish, and this is a really nice bull flag so far that's forming. So I, on one hand, expect price to move up and to start playing into this zone here, which would be really nice. And let's see. And that would bring us back right to the top. We could be in a little bit of a danger of failing to get that high and forming maybe some kind of head and shoulders. But right now, this looks extremely bullish to me. One bit of caution, I would say it to get not to get too crazy at the moment is, let me zoom in and go back to the daily chart. Oh, okay. Undo also undoes zooming. Okay, that's not what I wanted. So let me just select this and delete it. Okay, so you can see here, there's no wick on this candle so far. My colors are going to be really off because I was trying to experiment with doing something else. So let me just make that and then make that transparent. Okay, so we could see that a lot better. But you see, there's no wick on this candle. If you look at all the daily candles, I mean, you go back any period of time, it is really, really unusual. Here's one right here. But it is really unusual that you end up with a candle that has absolutely no wick. I think even here, there's a little wick. We could see that the high and the open, the high was 65.20 and the high was 65.17. So there's a tiny little wick here. And okay, maybe there's no wick there, but by far and wide, you always have wicks at both ends, even tiny. So I would expect that maybe in the middle of the night, we get some kind of retracement, maybe one flush down into 38.26. So maybe we'll come down into the 0.382 fib. We could draw that. We get some kind of quick flush down and then move back up. That that wouldn't be unexpected, and that would also not be considered a bearish move at all. And you never know. This could be a candle that has no bottom wick. So they are unusual, but they can happen because this really is setting up as a very, very nice, bull flag, right? I mean, that's almost textbook, right? Long pole, bull flag, and then that would give us, where's my trend line? So if we just take, we could take the measured move of this candle here and then move that, straighten it out. And look at this. If we put this right at the top of the wick, that brings us, I mean, you have to realize this is not coincidence. How all these zones play out, how all these zones work together. If you've ever done any computer programming and you think about all the money that the big money players are investing into having folks, software engineers write these trading programs, these bots for them, they're not doing random number generation. They're using these numbers. This is how the bots are programmed. It's no secret. I'm a software engineer myself, and if I were to be writing bots, I would be doing this. When you see price overshoot, they're going to have some kind of fudge factor in there. They're not always going to do everything to the number. That's why, like if you were going to short at 41.71, maybe you put your short at 41.50 or something like that. So you either front the number or back the number. But this is just, these are the breadcrumbs that that the bots are, the ones running the, the trading, and that's fine, right? That's the game. This is the game that we need to be aware of, so that we can also trade with the, with the big money folks and be part of the predators and not part of the herd. Let's see, what else do I want to say here? So the other thing is, I have to say I love these whole moving averages. Here you can see we tracked when you start to have a big move down, and then you start to your price starts to move on the other side of the whole moving average, and then you get a color change. It's usually a great indication, along with other things. So now, maybe if you got in over here, this was not the best trade in the world. If you were a short-term trader, you could have made some money. long-term traders, okay, well, this is part of your dollar cost averaging. But if you use that in conjunction with support zones, support and resistance zones, then certainly when price came down here, this would have been a beautiful entry, somewhere on this candle at, 3,400, and then moving it up. Because we're in a very bullish mode, I, would not have taken this trade, but if you see this doji here, let me highlight that. You could have used this doji to take profits as price came back and started trading inside. And we're getting that same kind of turn up here, although price has definitely moved quickly away. Another very bullish indication. Now this is on the 4-hour chart. Personally, I only use the 4-hour chart for analysis, and I will also use it for finding entry points. But I don't rely on it all too much, especially when it comes to the moving averages. But if we look at the whole moving average here, right here was the color change. You could have gotten in on this candle here again at about maybe 3,500. So you're never going to call the exact top or bottom, but using something like the whole, you can actually help time your entries a little bit better. So I recommend throwing a whole moving average on your charts and seeing how it goes, right? This is actually a custom indicator that I created to give me the color changes. TradingView may have one now, I'm not sure. Okay, so here we are. So again, this is, I think, very bullish. I have my upper price target. I would think in short order, the next end of this bull move up, I would think would be somewhere in the 51.62 range. And then we will have another 1-to-1 off the first move up. So hope you liked the video. Please comment. Let me know what you like, what you didn't like. If you want me to explain things in more detail, let me know. We'll be posting more videos in the days and weeks ahead. And if I don't hear from any of you, I wish you all a very happy and healthy new year. Okay, so this is the Crypto Dan Guru, and have a great rest of the day.